All right, we're rolling with our live Q&A, and Why Not asks a question that I am super fond of. He says, hashtag NBA, Jalen Green or Cade Cunningham as the first pick in 2021. Let me go ahead and throw my bias out here and just let you guys know what you're working with. I'm an Oklahoma State graduate. You know where Cade Cunningham is going? Oklahoma State, baby. Go Pokes. So I'm picking Cade Cunningham all the way. That being said, Jalen Green, who's going to play in the G League this year, is amazing. They're both amazing. But when you got a 6'7" point guard that can dunk it from anywhere, shoot it from anywhere, and just do everything on the floor like Cade Cunningham can, he's the number one pick in 2021. Go Pokes. All right, let's move on to King of Three. He asks, hashtag NBA. Dallas trades Seth Curry, Jalen Brunson, and a first-round pick for John Collins and Dwayne Dedmon. You know, here's the problem. NBA, for Maverick fans and really NBA fans in general, kind of overhype their own players, and I think that's what's happening with Seth Curry here. Seth Curry and Jalen Brunson, fun young guards. First-round pick, Mavs don't have any first-round picks until 2025 to trade. John Collins is a 20-point-per-game scorer, and he's a lob threat. He is the Atlanta Hawks. I almost said the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Hawks' second-best player on that team. He is super special. I'm afraid they're not going to give him up for Seth Curry and Jalen Brunson, but I would love to get John Collins on this Mavericks team. It's just not going to happen anytime soon. All right, King of Three is keeping it rolling with the trade suggestions here in the chat. He says, hashtag NBA. The Thunder trade Chris Paul for John Collins and Dwayne Dedmon. This is one, again, why would the Hawks do this? Because they already have Trae Young. Trae Young is the point guard of the future. He's one of the best point guards in the NBA offensively right now. Chris Paul's old. He's owed too much money. You're not going to give up two big men just to trade for a point guard when you already have a point guard. So I appreciate the trade idea. However, the Hawks, thumbs down. They're saying no. All right, Vanish comes in with this question about Damian Lillard. Is Damian Lillard the best point guard in the league right now? Listen, after watching what this guy has done in the NBA bubble, after seeing that he has led the Portland Trailblazers all the way back into the playoffs despite having almost half his team injured all year long, it's hard to argue for anybody else. However, there is anyone that's going to give him a run for his money. And maybe it's not this year, but at least for the next 3 or 5 years, Luka Doncic. And if you don't think he's a point guard, you're crazy. He's a point guard. So it's between Dame and Luka, but I give Dame the edge for right now. Now, speaking of Damian Lillard, I mean, he's the bubble MVP. He just led his team back to the play-in tournament. He's got every opportunity in the world to be the bubble MVP because, as you know, they're giving an award to the bubble MVP. So it's going to be between TJ Warren, Devin Booker, and Damian Lillard. But Damian Lillard is scoring 37 points per game right now in the bubble. That's insane, and that is worthy of bubble MVP. So I want you guys to make a prediction. Who deserves it? Who deserves that bubble MVP? Let me know down in the comments section. Now, along with Bubble MVP, you can get your Bubble MVP shirt right here, chatsports.com/NBA shirt. Whoever wins it, go pick up a shirt at Fanatics. They're shipping for free for a limited time only. You go to chatsports.com/NBA shirt. That's the best place to go. So go check it out. Whoever you're a fan of, whatever team, whatever player you want, you can go get it at Fanatics. Chatsports.com/NBA shirt. That's the best place to go. Fanatics is the best place to shop for all your NBA gear. Let's keep it rolling with these live Q&A questions. Ethan Turner, who is the best player at every position? All right, I'm going to go point guard down to center. Point guard, Damian Lillard. Shooting guard, James Harden. Small forward, this is tough because it's between Kawhi Leonard and LeBron James. But I'm giving it to Kawhi Leonard. Power forward, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and the best center in the league, in my eyes, is Nikola Jokic of the Denver Nuggets. I think Joel Embiid has a strong case, but I just don't think he's as versatile as Nikola Jokic is. So I'm going to give it to Jokic at the center position. It's a good question, and there's a big debate about all of them. I mean, you can make a case for so many different guys at so many different positions, but that's my 5. All right, let's go to Moritz Gaming. Will the Lakers trade LeBron if they will win championship, and if they will not, will he stay? Now, first of all, the wording on this question is super confusing. I'm going to take it as, will they trade LeBron if they don't win the championship? And the answer is no. When you have arguably the best player of all time on your team, no matter how old he is, you don't trade him away. And even if you lose the championship, you want LeBron there alongside Anthony Davis to continue building something in Los Angeles. So no matter what, the Lakers are not trading LeBron James. Julio Ortiz. Will Bradley Beal, speaking of Lakers, get traded to Los Angeles? No. The Lakers don't have the firepower to trade for Bradley Beal. As much as Laker fans I know want him alongside LeBron and AD, it's just not going to happen. I mean, you have Danny Green, you have Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, you have Kyle Kuzma. Those are really your only trade chips. And you don't even have draft picks to trade. So, unfortunately for the Lakers and their fans, no, they don't have the firepower to do it, and they're not going to be able to get Bradley Beal anytime soon. Clay asking a question here. Nikola Jokic or Joel Embiid? I believe that's a Denver Broncos profile picture, so I'm assuming you want me to say Nikola Jokic or the Denver Nuggets. Guess what? That's my answer. I think just generally speaking, he's more versatile than Embiid on the offensive end. Now, he's not as good of a defender, absolutely not, but he's more of a winning center. He wins you more games than Embiid will. So I'm going with Nikola Jokic of the Nuggets. Let's go to loyalty. Loyalty. Oh, loyalty. Oh, I get it. I thought that was like a t-shirt company. All right, I get it. Do you think Westbrook and Harden could get it done this year? If you mean by get it done, you mean win it all? The answer is no. First of all, Russell Westbrook's hurt, at least for the first round. So there is a very real possibility that Russell Westbrook doesn't even play in the first round, which means a very real possibility the Houston Rockets get bounced in the first round. I think their small ball lineup is going to get exposed in the playoffs, especially if they go up against a team like the Denver Nuggets. And I just don't think it's going to win them ball games. I think at the end of the day, they're going to get bounced out in either the first round by the Thunder or the second round with whoever they play. I don't even think they make it to the conference finals, which does not bode well for really the window that the Rockets have with James Harden and Russell Westbrook in there. You know, listen, I love Harden. I love watching him play because he scores just in huge amounts. But he's not good enough to win an NBA Finals. It's not going to happen. All right, let's go to our next question here from Hanif. Who do you think will win between the Trailblazers and the Memphis Grizzlies? Listen, you got Ja Morant and you got Damian Lillard. It's going to be a fun point guard battle, and it's a young team versus the more experienced team of the Portland Trailblazers for that play-in tournament, and really for that 8th seed in the Western Conference. And I've got to give the edge to the Portland Trailblazers and Damian Lillard. With how amazing Damian Lillard has played in the bubble, it's hard not to say, oh, he is going to get that team to the 8th seed. And I think we all would rather see the Trailblazers play the Lakers. It's a tough matchup either way, but I'm just afraid that the Lakers would sweep the Grizzlies, and nobody wants to see that happen. I'd rather have a 6-game series or a 5-game series even against the Portland Trailblazers. So what I want you guys to do is make that prediction. I want you to predict down in the comment section in the live chat. Who is going to get that 8th seed? Is it going to be the Portland Trailblazers, or is it going to be the Memphis Grizzlies? It's going to be a fun matchup, and remember, the Trailblazers just have to win 1 game. The Memphis Grizzlies have to win 2 games to get into the NBA playoffs, and I just don't think they're going to be able to make it happen. With no Jaren Jackson Jr., they just can't do it. It's just not going to happen. So I'm taking Damian Lillard, I'm taking Yusuf Nurkic, and I'm taking CJ McCollum and the Portland Trailblazers to beat the Memphis Grizzlies in that play-in tournament. Let's go to Sharp Young. Jayson Tatum or Donovan Mitchell? Good question. Both very different players. However, if I were starting a team right now, if I had to build around one of those 2 guys, it's got to be Jayson Tatum. Look at what he's doing on a team that already has 2 20-point-per-game scorers. You already have Kemba Walker. You already have Jaylen Brown. And Jayson Tatum is still leading that team in points per game at 24 points per game. Donovan Mitchell is fun. Don't get me wrong. He's one of the best young players in the NBA. But overall, he's not as versatile, and I don't think he can get it done when it really counts as much as Jayson Tatum can. I'm excited to see what Tatum can do with the Celtics this year in the playoffs. It's going to take a lot. But I would just rather start a team with a guy like Jayson Tatum than Donovan Mitchell. However, Donovan Mitchell's really special. I mean, I think eventually he's going to be a top 5 guard in the NBA. I think he's already close to it. He's already all-star talent. He's just not as good. I'm taking Jayson Tatum in this one. It's a good question, Sharp Young. I love those matchup questions. Let's go to Adrian Perkins. Should the Rockets sign Montrezl Harrell in the offseason? Here's the deal, Adrian. The Rockets drafted Montrezl Harrell, and then they traded him away. So I think that relationship has soured. I don't think the Houston Rockets are going to be able to land Montrezl Harrell, even if they wanted to, because it would make a lot of sense. Because you look at what the Rockets play with right now, it's such a small lineup, and they don't have any rebounders. So yeah, Montrezl Harrell would be perfect in Houston. However, I don't think he's going back there. I also don't think Houston has the money to actually make it happen. Let's go to Clay's question here. Rolling in the questions. I love it, Clay. Most people are not picking the Nuggets to get to the finals. If somehow the Mavs take out the Clippers, what are the chances that Denver goes to the finals? If the Mavs beat the Clippers in round 1, if the Mavs do make that happen, which I think would be tough because I want to see it go 7. I think the Clippers are going to win it in 6. I think the Nuggets will be in the Western Conference Finals with the Los Angeles Lakers, and then a matchup gets really, really interesting. We saw the Lakers and the Nuggets go at it, and the Nuggets sat a bunch of players, and then all of a sudden, the Lakers just barely won that game. So that would be a 7-game Western Conference Finals series. I would still take the Lakers to come out of the West over the Denver Nuggets, however, in that situation. So now I broke down those guys, those two teams, the Denver Nuggets and the Los Angeles Lakers, but I want you to make your prediction. Which team in the NBA is going to win it all? Don't just tell me who you want, but make your prediction down in the comment section. Whether it's the Lakers, whether it is the Nuggets, maybe it's the Milwaukee Bucks, maybe you got a dark horse team like the Miami Heat, the Dallas Mavericks, the Toronto Raptors, whoever it may be, shout it out in the comment section. Now we're going to keep our Q&A rolling here with Krishna Dev. Can Kristaps Porzingis be an MVP candidate one day? You know, I think he's going to be close. I think he will be back to his all-star self next year. However, becoming an MVP candidate just isn't going to happen because he's already playing with an MVP candidate in Luka Doncic. Do I think he can be on a very similar level? Yes, but when you're playing with Luka Doncic, he is the MVP level. Luka is a future MVP, and playing with the future MVP doesn't bode well for your future MVP chances. So I love Porzingis. I think he's getting back to his all-star self. I just don't think that he's going to win MVP when he's playing with Luka Doncic.